Where is Normani? Where is the album? That is the question that we have been asking her for the past, I would say, 6 years. And in this video, we're going to dive into what is going on. Has Normani's time passed up? Does anybody even care about her album anymore? And what is really going on with this album? Now, let's start off with Normani's upbringing or rise to fame. She was a member of Fifth Harmony, and Fifth Harmony was the girl group that was popular in the 2010s, and they had hits like Work From Home, Boss, and a lot of different songs that were kind of popular. And Normani, she was the only black girl in the group. All right, everybody else was mixed, white, or some other race, and she stuck out like a sore thumb. She really stuck out. And her standing out kind of led her to face a lot of racial backlash and a lot of just pure hate from fans who liked the group but didn't like Normani herself, and a lot of people who just were just racist people in general who just felt like the black girl did not deserve in the group, and they felt like she did not belong. And Normani felt a lot of ways about this. She spoke on this a lot, and she has said that it has really impacted her mental health, and it has not positively affected her well at all. And being a young black girl in the limelight, or being a young black girl who just is in front of so many eyes, and you're so young, and people are telling you you look ugly, and you're this, and you're that, you're not worthy because you're black, and all this, and your peers are getting praised because they're not black, and they have, that definitely can hurt someone's personal feelings about themselves and make them feel like they have to be a certain way and a certain way. And I feel like that kind of stems to the rest of the video and me discussing about what is really going on with her. But Fifth Harmony was a traumatic experience for Normani. She did not enjoy it at all. Normani finally left Fifth Harmony in 2018, and she rebranded herself as a solo artist. And with this rebrand, she was partnered up with Khalid to release their song called Love Lies. And Love Lies was her first real song as Normani herself. And it was pretty good. The song did well. The song had great chart success. And it seemed like, Normani was kind of making her mark in the solo music world, solo music. But yes, this was a featured song, but this was her first song that was publicly released as her being a solo artist on it. And it was exciting. And I remember seeing her performance on the Billboard Awards of her performing this song, and it was just viral. It was so crazy. Like, everybody was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? I even remember Nicki Minaj even had her on Queen Radio, and she was performing the dance she did on the Billboard Awards, and it was just a viral sensation, and people loved it. People caught onto Normani around this time period in terms of people already liked her because they felt bad for her in Fifth Harmony, but once she went solo, they were just rooting for her so bad because they just felt so much sympathy for her. So this was like, oh my gosh, yes, Normani. It was like yes, Normani's finally doing her thing. She's doing her thing, and everybody was just so happy for her. Moving on, Normani did make a few songs here and there. One of them is called Waves, and I love Waves, but Waves didn't really have a big commercial success. It wasn't really popular like that. It wasn't really popular. So it was kind of cute. It was okay. It was really okay. Then she had this big hit with Sam Smith called Dancing with a Stranger. That song was everywhere, viral sensation, top 10 on Billboard for many weeks, and it was just a big hit. And her dancing in that music video was just amazing, and her talent was being shown, and everybody was going crazy as well over this performance of a song. But next up, we have Normani's big official solo single, the song Motivation, which had everybody talking. And when I say everybody talking, I mean everybody was talking about Motivation. Now, Motivation came out, and they just loved the music video, the overall message. Like, she was just feeling herself. She was doing what she had to do, and she just was like seeming like she was really ready to go and get this career started. And she was just so up there, and she was just so ready. People loved the music video because it was like a 90s themed concept, and she was just tapping into different eras of music and genre of style of dancing, and it was just a lot going on, and I loved it at the time. She also performed at the VMA stage, and when she performed this at the VMA stage, the entire crowd and audience was going crazy. I remember all the celebrities were dancing and rooting for her. It was a movement, okay? The Motivation song was a movement. And that was Normani's first official big single that kind of was her own solo song. All the other songs were featured, but this one was a solo single, and everybody was just going crazy over this song. Now, while everybody was going crazy, I do feel like the label could have maybe pushed it a bit more and maybe had it on radio for a bit longer, because it was not really going that crazy on the charts like that. I mean, yeah, we heard it, but it seemed like it was only like popping for about like 2 or 3 months that summer. It wasn't really like a song that could be continued to be promoted like that. After a while, it kind of died. It kind of had a quick rise and then a quick downfall. So that was that. Now, we're all waiting for Normani to drop her album around this time period. And this was the time period where she said her album was ready to go. And this is 2019. And we don't hear anything from Normani at all until 2021 with Wild Side. And everybody's just wondering, where have you been for the past 2 years? Like, what's really going on? And this is when people start to really like question, is she being sabotaged by her label? What is going on with Normani? That is when everybody was just like, wait a minute, is she okay? Like, does she not care about her career? What is going on? All right, now Wild Side came out and everybody, some people expected more. A lot of people did expect more from Normani to be gone for this long, because they felt like, okay, you are gone for over 2 years and this is all we get is just some Aaliyah sample. And it just didn't really survive. People didn't like it. Some people did like it, but overall, it was just mixed emotions. The song performed decently well in the Hot 100 chart, and the song was pretty cute. And I liked it at first. It was okay, but after a while, it kind of got overplayed on radio, which kind of made me not like it anymore. But the music video was also good. She was also getting praised for her dancing skills and dancing ability, because, Normani is talented, and, the Wild Side hype died down, and we were promised an album around the same time of the single release. She went on an interview and it was, album's coming soon, but we have yet to get an album. And her next song that gets released is in 2022, and the song is called Fair. And for some reason, the song had no promotion at all. It was, she performed it on I think a live show, late night show. But other than that, we haven't heard anything since, and it's been crickets. Now, in my opinion, I feel like Normani, she felt like she could not top the performance of Motivation, and she felt nervous that she wouldn't be able to perform as well as she did to her best solo single that she put out. Normani is a perfectionist, and being in a girl group, like I said earlier, and you are being so criticized for being this and that, and you're the only black girl, a lot of eyes are on you for the wrong reasons, and they're critiquing you and criticizing you, looking for every wrong thing to do. And Normani has almost been conditioned to be perfect. Like, black girls and black women in the industry are conditioned to be perfect, and you can't have any flaws, or if you have any flaws, you're not worthy of anything. And it's just like, can she be a human though? And I feel like Normani, I think she wants to put out music, but she has this big block in her mind that's not allowing her to. Now, before I move on to these other points about why I feel like this whole music being held back thing is just not good and some other reasons, I do want to make it very clear that her parents, they do have cancer. I think her mother is getting better or something like that. I think I heard that story, but her parents at one point in time have had a cancer. And, I'm pretty sure that's what she's been worried about this whole entire time. So I'm not going to be, too harsh on Normani. And that's something that I don't want anybody to kind of forget. I want you to keep this in the back of your mind. While I'm talking about this, just understand what she is or has been going through. All right. So now, in my opinion, this whole album thing and leaving your fans high and dry once a year, to me, in my opinion, it can make some fans irritated, and it can make some fans just not even want it anymore. This whole album coming this year, and it's been over 5 years, and we have yet to get anything out of you in terms of a solo album. I can see how fans are upset with you. They don't want to listen to it anymore. Okay, Normani is very talented. She can sing, she can dance, and I think she can act a little bit. I'm not sure, but she has the whole package. And I feel like sometimes her potential scares her. When your potential scares you, you're too scared to do anything. You're just kind of stagnant and stuck. And she also wants to be perfect. She has this perfectionist issue. So that combined, it's not a good combo at all. Now, I've also been hearing that people feel like Normani's lane has been taken by people like Chloe and Coco Jones and different R&B girls in the music industry. Now, in my opinion, to a certain extent, I can see how y'all say that because, you know, for a while, it's been this this Normani love campaign. Like, oh my gosh, where is she at? Where is she at? And people feel like people like Coco Jones, you know, they're putting out music that Normani would put out. And they're trying to say that in response to her being absent. Honestly, I don't think we can compare these artists because I don't think that Normani would make any music that Chloe or Coco Jones would make. So I just don't really think that's really fair to say because Normani is her own entity. But what I can say is that it's very exhausting as a fan to think you're going to get an album at one point in time and think you're going to get this, think you're going to get that, and just get ghosted. It's abuse. It's abuse, and it's a tug and war relationship that she has with her fans, and the fans understand what's going on with her and her personal issues and her personal things. But you know, just aside from that, it can be very annoying, and it just makes nobody care anymore. And it gets to a certain point where it's like, is this bigger than her? Okay, you know, people are saying the label. It could be the label. It could be this. It could be that. But I feel like at this point now, so many excuses are being made. Besides the personal things that she go through, we all have our things, so I understand that. But it just seems like there's so many excuses people are trying to say. It's this, it's that, it's this and that. And after a certain point in time, we can only rely on so many excuses. And when I say excuses, I mean excuses that like she can't control. Like, you know, the things that she can control that's stopping her from making her music. I'm talking about those things. Like, it's only so many excuses we can make for Normani for lying and saying her album's coming out and just saying this and that about your music career. It's so many things that we can keep making excuses for her, but it's just nobody really knows who Normani is. The general public does not know who she is because she has yet to establish herself as Normani. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's going to be some time. You know, all she needs to do is just release a couple of singles, release her album, and really put her out there. You know, she's talented, she's beautiful, and I really feel like she has a lot of potential. But we don't want this potential to fade because she's too scared or she's being held back by herself. And maybe she needs a new management team. Maybe she needs a new label. I don't know, but something has to give because Normani is very talented and we cannot let her talent go to waste. But what do you think? I would love to hear what you have to say down below in the comment section. We can discuss this down below. And I will see you all in the next one.